Today, I'll be working with through a Microcks, that is an open source tool for working and testing APIs. So, why I am making this video? Because I have contributed to Microcks from a couple of months now, and I find it a very interesting tool. So, what Microcks do? It helps developer and tester by turning API specification into the working mock services, and it also provide a contract testing to ensure that API behaves as expected. So it can also work with REST, SOAP, gRPC, GraphQL, Async API, and event-driven API. If you are building the microservices and micro save a lot of times by letting you simulate and validate API early in the development cycle. So now let's say, imagine you are building a front-end app, and that depends on the backend service that isn't ready. Or maybe you are integrating with a third-party APIs, like what I do. So instead of waiting, you can mock the API using Microcks and continue development seamlessly. And once backend is ready, completely ready, Microcks ensure your API stays compliant with this specification. So let's understand it with the demo. So basically, this is an Microcks dashboard. You can also run it using the by cloning the Git repo locally, or also you can also run it using the Docker that which I use. So in this demo, basically, in this you can manage all your API mocks test from this dashboard. So now you are ready to use Microcks for the deploying your own services and API mocks. Before that, let's have a look at the application home screen and introduce the main concept. So using the application URL after the installation, we should land on this page with two main entries, that is API, as you can see, API service and import stuff. As you many have guessed, like API service is for browsing your services and API repository and discovering and accessing documentation, mocks, and test also. And Imposter will help you to populate your repository, allowing you to define jobs that periodically scan your Git or simple HTTP repositories for new artifacts, which unpass them and integrate them into your services and API repository. In fact, Imposter help you to discover both new and modified services before using your own service definition file. So let's load some sample into Micros for a test drive. Okay. So now we provide a different sample that illustrate a different capability of microcks on a different protocol. Like sample can be loaded via imposter, like started above, but also via the Microsoft's entry in the, as you can see in the this section. So here you can see that there are different types of packages, 19 APIs are included. You can see the category also. So yeah, so among the different title tiles on the screen, so choose the Microx IO sample API one that will give you our access to the list of available samples for getting started with Microx. So we are going to explore the Pastry API 2.0. So okay, so from the microxide sample APIs, we are going to use the Pastry API 2.0 that is here, as you can see, which is a simple REST API. So you can select it from the list of available APIs on the bottom right as this, and you can install it as also here are two options for installing the API mocks into your micro instance. You can create a new import jobs for API mocks, and also another one is just import API mocks one. What will I do? I will just import API mock one, and yeah, it's done. So as you can see here, so when import is done, a new API has been discovered and added to your repository. So you should have the result below with two notification toast on the top right, as we got it previously. So you can click the green button and now visit this page as I am now. You will be able to access the details, documentation, resources, request response sample from each of the operation, as you can see here. Here are the mock URL. Here are dispatcher properties, dispatching properties. Here is the response code and type, and it is for the get pastry name and also for different types of URL. So now, one important bit of information here is mock URL field, as you can see here, this one, URL field. So this is the endpoint where Micros automatically deploy a mock for this operation. So the table just below, like this one, the table just below shows the request response pair and the detailed URL with the HTTP verb showing how to invoke this mock. So at the end of the mock URL line, you will notice two icons and buttons. The first one allow you to copy the URL, so this one, and and the second one will allow you to get a curl command to interact with a mock API from the terminal. So you can copy the URL for the this example, and give it a try in your terminal also. So we will just click on this repo. So I click on this. So and we will switch back to the terminal here. As you can see, again, new tab. Yeah, I will just paste it. Now you can see that we got the output. Now let's go back to documentation what is saying. So yeah, damn. So this is the exact document, exact output what we got. So now you have a lot of basic information on how to set up the microbes and how to use with the importing additional sample from sample app and also yeah. So to summarize this completely video, I will just tell you brief. Microcks help you to generate mocks from API in seconds, validate service with contract test and support multiple API styles, including event-driven ones. And one thing is it also integrates with the CI/CD for continuous API quality. So if you love this demo, so don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe. See you in another video.